So, welcome back to another episode of Dating After a Toxic Relationship. It's interesting because I've been dating healthy for a little while now, and I'm finally at the point where I'm feeling like I'm no longer dating after a toxic relationship. Now I feel like I'm just dating to date, dating to meet someone, dating with purpose, dating where it's not scary anymore, where it's not terrifying, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like what's gonna happen? So it's taken me a long time to get to this place. I've been dating one person for the past 12 months, according to me, and I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot in these past 12 months, a lot. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about trust, about growth, about honesty. I learned about a lot about what I want in someone and definitely what I don't want in someone. I've learned what I'm going to put up with and what I'm not going to put up with. I've learned lately more and more how to speak up for myself and how to stand up for myself. And this wasn't an easy process. I think I had to get through the first year of dating somebody healthy in order to learn who I am. But in order to get to that point, I had to go through recovery and all that. But I think today it's an interesting thing because I've been thinking about what kind of a woman do I want to be, right? Like, what kind of a woman do I want to be? It's one of those questions where it's like, not what kind of a wife, not what kind of a mom, not what kind of a girlfriend or sister or friend. What kind of a woman do you want to be? Within any relationship, life is going to test you. Life is going to throw out temptations. Life is going to throw out craziness. Life is going to test you to see if you're strong enough to be in a relationship with somebody, because being in a relationship is not easy. It's not something where it's like you just like wake up one day, you're in a relationship, and all of a sudden everything's perfect. You have this amazing house, and then you have everything like going for you exactly the way you want it. Relationship is more like a day at the carnival sometimes, like riding a roller coaster. It's up and it's down and it's this and it's that. But I do know this, that when it starts to not feel good is when you have to start thinking about walking away from somebody. Thinking about walking away from somebody is very difficult, whether you're in a relationship with somebody that's toxic or somebody that's healthy. If it's not what you need and if it's not helping you to become a better person, it's sort of making you a worse person, it's time to start thinking about walking away from that. It's definitely not an easy decision to make, but it's something that if you love yourself a little bit more than you love the person that you're with, it's something that is definitely possible. It's something that is difficult, but you have to really work at it. Figure out, is this going to work? Is this not going to work? But figuring out what kind of a woman you want to be. Like, for me, when I was married, I was very toxic. I was very abusive. I was a name caller. I was controlling. I was emotional about everything. Everything needed a reaction from me, not just a response, but a reaction from me. I remember one day being in the car with my ex-husband, and he was backing out of the driveway and he ran over a patch of grass. Wow, I was so pissed. He ran over a patch of grass and I freaked out and started screaming at him. My sister was in the back seat and he was like, I can't do this. And he ended up just getting out of the car and walking away. And I remember being pissed that he did that. Like, what the hell? So after getting divorced and after going through a toxic relationship where somebody treated me that way, I realized what a crazy person I was and got into recovery and got some help for that. So now it's tough because, like, after you've been that level, after you've been abused, after you've been all this, then you go and you date, and it's a tough thing because you want to like tell the people like, this is like who I used to be crazy, but you don't want to say that to people. So you need to figure out what kind of a woman you want to be. I don't want to be that kind of a woman ever again. I don't want to be the type of woman that is nagging and controlling and angry and pissed off and constantly reacting to things that really they don't need a reaction. So I had to decide what kind of a woman I wanted to be. And I am becoming that woman more and more every day. I personally want to be that woman that does take care of a man. I want to be able to make food and, clean and do all these different things. Obviously not, the only thing I do, but it's something that I want to do. That's important to me. It's important to me to have the person I'm with feel like I love them and I care about them, not just with words, but with actions. And it's one thing if you are like that. I think that's great. And if you're not like that, that's fine too. It's however you want to be. It's whatever person you want to be. But I think it's one of those things where it's like when you are a giver like that, you have to make sure that when you're giving, you're receiving things back, which is very much a weakness of mine, where I don't expect anything back. So that normally leads me open to be sort of a doormat, where I do and do for other people, and I don't usually get my needs met in return. So over this past year, I learned like what kind of a woman I want to be and the things that I'm going to need in order for me to be happy in a relationship. There's some women out there that like gifts and they like jewelry and they like nice cars and they want to live in like a big house, and that's fine. I think that's great. I used to be a woman like that. I used to be the type of woman that wanted a big house, that wanted this and that, wanted that. And I am no longer that person anymore. For me, the type of needs I have are just a little bit easier for, I think, people, but not all people. I like to hear nice things. If anyone follows any of this, I love hugs. That's like my energizer. Like that's just what keeps me going. I like to be hugged. I think it's such a good feeling. That's what I want. I want someone to pay attention to me and to show me off. I want a person that is proud to be with me. I want a person to be like, yeah, that's her, that crazy, messy-haired person over there who cries at happy movies and sad movies. Yeah, that's my person. I want a person to be proud of me. That's what I want. I don't need to have jewelry. I don't need to have anything. If someone proposed to me without a ring, the ring doesn't matter. The ring's not going to make or break a relationship. The ring isn't going to make or break a marriage. The ring is only going to get you mugged if it's big enough, and I really am not in the mood to be mugged ever. So I want a person that's just all about me, that just wants me and is just like, wants to give me attention and wants to take me out and wants to just show me off. I think that's a great thing. And not show me off like, I want you to get like half naked so we can walk around. No, that's not what I mean. Somebody who's just proud of me. I think it's, that would be a huge change for me, to be with somebody who's proud of me and who wants to be like, yeah, that one right there, that one's the one. Like, I think that would be so great. So, but in order to find someone like that, you have to, I think, work at it. You have to work at being that person and getting yourself healthy and knowing who you are and what you want and being able to live that way. If you fake something, if you fake, who you are, eventually the mask is going to come off. It's going to come off and you're going to reveal who you really are to that person, and things will definitely change. So being genuine from the very start is huge. I think being honest is also huge. I think if you are out of something and you kind of want to just get your feet wet with dating, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's a big thing to tell people that, though, to say, you know what, I just kind of got out of something. I want to go out on dates and just see how it is and see how I feel going out on dates. If you are on an online app sort of thing, I think it's totally fine to put that in your little bio. Just be like, just testing the waters. Just want to see kind of what's out there and whatever. I think it's fair that the person you go out with knows exactly what your intentions are, that you're not really ready for anything yet. And there are plenty of other people who want to do the same thing, who want to just kind of get out there and see what's going on and maybe just have fun. And even if it doesn't turn into something romantic, you could still meet other people and be friends with them. There's nothing wrong with meeting other people that way and getting to know yourself while you're getting to know other people. I think that's actually really kind of fun. But the big thing is to put your intentions out there straight away. Because if you don't do that and you meet someone, you're going to hurt someone. And you don't want to do that because you've been hurt. So you don't want to do that. It seems like it's a super scary thing to say and to be honest about, but it's really not. It's because there are more people out there than you think. Because if you're ready to date and you go out there and you meet someone and you think he's just the best thing ever, But then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, no, this really isn't what I want. You're going to get hurt. So think of that when you're, doing the same thing, like when you're out there, like putting yourself out there and dating and all that. But actually figuring out what kind of a woman you want to be. How do you see yourself in a relationship? How do you see yourself with someone else? I just talked to one of my clients the other day about dating again. She walked away from a toxic relationship and she like killed it. She didn't just like walk away. She never went back. Like, it's super impressive that she was able to do that. And I think she was able to do that because she had constant contact with me where we could talk and she could call me instead of talking to him, and that helped her a lot. But she did so much work to get away from him. And now we're going into the next phase, which is dating. So she's kind of nervous about it, 50-50, doesn't know if she should do it or not. And I was telling her this right now, the space between no longer and not yet, which I love to talk about, is the time to get to know yourself and to figure out who you are, what you want, and what you don't want. Like, take all the stuff that happened in your last relationship. Think about all the stuff that happened that you were not okay with. The stuff that you don't want to have to go through again. The stuff that really kind of destroyed you. Then you have to think about the stuff that maybe you did. The stuff that you did that wasn't healthy in that relationship. The stuff that you caused, or, whatever it was. Because no matter what, like, we all have responsibility and accountability in our relationship. It's never one-sided. It's never just one person. So thinking about the stuff that maybe we did that wasn't so healthy, or the stuff that we don't want to do again. So with my marriage, I don't want to be controlling. I don't want to be the nagging, where are you going, when are you coming home, who are you with sort of person. I do want somebody to open up and be like, hey, I'm going out with this person, I'll be back later. Awesome. I mean, you don't really need any more than that. I mean, you definitely want some kind of communication about that. But a person who's not willing to do that yet maybe isn't ready for any kind of a serious relationship. Maybe they're just looking to date, which is fine. I mean, but be honest with the people so nobody falls in love and gets feelings and then has to walk away from something because it's heartbreaking to do to someone. So figuring out who you were, what you want to change about yourself, all leads into the next relationship that you want to be in. Taking it slow, making the decision that you even want to date again is huge. Just like, yeah, I kind of want to date again. Like, now you got to figure out, okay, what does that look like? How do I want to meet someone? Where should I go? What should I do? What do I wear? What do I ask? These are all the important questions to kind of get through before you start like jumping in cold turkey and just like going out with somebody. There are a lot of people that I've worked with getting back into dating or dating again because they can't seem to like find someone that will like click with them, is asking the right questions in the right way, trying to find out who the people are, having that phone call before you meet up with them, having some kind of a plan. But knowing what you're going to put up with and what you're not going to put up with is huge. So for some of my clients, I've asked them to write down just 3 deal breakers and then 3 boundaries that they don't want someone to cross. So, what do deal breakers look like? Like, what could someone's deal breaker be? I mean, for me, I don't want someone that's walked away from their kids. I don't want someone who was able to pack up and move away from their kids, because that person isn't for me. As someone who's willing to do that. Someone who's willing to do that, who doesn't have a career, who doesn't have like a big reason to do it. Like, I had to leave my kids because I got this job and this is how I support them, blah, blah. That's one thing, I guess. But it's like a whole other thing where it's like, yeah, I just kind of moved here and I just want to see what this place has to offer me. Oh, did you have kids? Oh yeah, they're back in California. Wow. Okay, well, have a nice day. Because that's just not going to work for me. That might work for Jezebel, which I think is great. But it's not going to work for me. Somebody who drinks excessively, not for me. I am not a person who wants to be around somebody who's intoxicated a lot. I get people drink and they want to go have fun. That's great. But if you're getting like trashed every night, that's a deal breaker for me. Name calling is a deal breaker for me. Absolutely. I refuse to be called a bitch again. I refuse to be called a fuckface. I refuse to be called the C word on a regular basis. I refuse to be called a whore. I won't do it. I will not do it. I will not tolerate a person calling me a name ever again in my life, ever. There are things that you go through and then you learn what you'll put up with and what you won't put up with. And name calling is something I will not put up with, not even as a damn joke. So, and I make that very clear to people. I will not be a name caller. I will not call you names. I will not put you down. I will not say negative things about you in front of you or behind your back. If I'm going to say it behind your back, I'm going to say it to your damn face. So that's the thing that I will not put up with. That is 100% a deal breaker. Somebody who cheats, like, I get it. Like, we have temptations and life will throw temptations at you on a regular basis. And if you are dating me, if you are a boyfriend and you cheat, I will not make you my husband. No, that will not be happening. If you are a boyfriend and you decide that you're going to do something like that, then yeah, that's, no. No. I've been cheated on before and it's not the most fun thing to go through. So I will not be tolerating that. Somebody who is mean to their mom, no. Won't be going through that. Somebody who gets angry super quick, no. No. I'm not here for that because that's no fun. Somebody who, does those things. It's the things I can't really put up with. It's something obviously these are the things. Normally when you have deal breakers, it's because you've been through that stuff before. That's usually how that works. So you can tell, like, if you are on a first date and you say to somebody, what are your deal breakers? Then if they just rattle off like excessive alcohol, drug use, then you know that they've been through some shit. Then that's exactly how you know what they've been through. If you look at someone's dating app and you see like their bio, and they put stuff out there like, not here for one night hookups, not here for this, only serious people, that they've been hurt. That they've been through something where they were probably just used for a one night hookup and didn't even realize it. That they were probably jerked around by somebody. So when they write stuff like that, so be on the lookout for that. You can see people's trauma through their bios on dating apps and kind of like what they've been through. So asking certain questions, you'll figure out like what people have been through. But anyway, knowing what your boundaries are, knowing like your deal breakers going in. So using this time now you've figured out, okay, so I'm ready to date again. I'm excited to see how this goes. Now it's like, okay, let's take this in increments. Let's figure out what boundaries are. Let's figure out what my deal breakers are. Let's see what I'm going to put up with and what I'm not going to put up with. Use this time to think about your last relationship and the stuff that you did wrong and the person that you were in that relationship, and try to focus on changing some of those things that you yourself weren't happy with. There were other things in my toxic relationship I wasn't happy with that I did. I remember getting into my toxic relationship, obviously not knowing that it was toxic, and saying to myself, okay, I'm not going to do the same stuff I did to my ex-husband. I'm going to do things differently. And I didn't call him a million times a day because I used to do that to my ex. I didn't, question where you're going, what are you doing, But then it was interesting because, like, the more, I guess, he came out of, like, who he really was, the more I turned into someone I didn't want to be. And that can happen in a healthy relationship, too. That's not just for toxic relationships. Healthy relationships, sometimes the person can start turning you into someone that you're not. Maybe your emotions are up and down. Maybe you're getting more angry. Maybe you're just, not yourself anymore. And it's okay to walk away. So there does not have to be abuse or name calling or gaslighting or whatever in order to walk away from a relationship. If you're not happy, that's enough. You can just walk away from that relationship. You can do that. And if you take your time and you're slow about everything and you really get to know that person, then you'll see whether or not they're going to be a good fit long term. They might be a good fit right now, but are they going to be a good fit long term? And that's what we're trying to look at if you're dating with intention. When you're ready to date with intention, then you're going to look at stuff like that. So deal breakers, boundaries, figuring out the stuff that you maybe did wrong in your last relationship, figuring out who you want to be and what dating looks like for you. Because what dating looks like for you might be something completely different from what the person that you've met looks like. Your version of dating might be going out and actually dating with the person that you're with. His version of dating might be something different where you don't go out, where you talk a whole bunch and you really get to know each other before you start like going out. So kind of figure out what yours looks like. And I think like another thing too, I was thinking about last night as far as like dating goes and relationships and all that crap, is it seems to be more and more difficult to get into a relationship because people have instant gratification. So you can be super gorge and you can be super smart and you can do these things, but then the guy may not be ready to get into anything with you because he's waiting to see if something else pops up that's better than you. Whether it's someone that's better looking than you, whether it's someone that's smarter than you, whether it's someone that's more quote unquote perfect for them. A lot of people who are not ready to be in relationships have these crazy high expectations and it's their out, so they don't have to stay or get into a relationship. So it's one of those things where it's like, well, you know, if you were 2 inches taller, this would be so much better, but we'll see how it goes. Can't do anything about that. What? So you can tell if someone's ready or not by what their expectations look like from their quote unquote perfect partner. Which, spoiler alert, there's no such thing as a perfect partner. Everyone's going to drive you fucking crazy. Everyone's going to make you want to fucking bury their dead body in the backyard at some point. You know, it's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. So as for you, don't try to be perfect. Just be you, because someone is going to want to be with a person that's exactly like you. But if you try to conform to what this guy wants you to be because you think you like him or whatever and he's not ready for a relationship, man, you're just going to fuck yourself over and you're going to waste a lot of fucking time. So I would go ahead and not do that. But as far as relationships go, like once you finally get into one, I think a lot of people think of relationships kind of like they did maybe when they were younger, maybe when they were in high school. Like, what does a high school relationship look like? You know, obviously you're not sleeping at each other's houses. Maybe you are on the down low, but like, it's not like an out and out thing. You know, like your parents are not going to be like, yeah, go sleep at Jezebel's house for a month and see how this relationship works. No one's going to do that. But of course there's, you know, you go out and there's sporting events and there's dances and there's these different things and social media and all this stuff. But when you get older, when you're in your 30s and 40s and even 50s and you're dating, the word boyfriend, the word girlfriend, they take on completely different meanings. Completely different. It's not the same. When you're in high school and you have a girlfriend, it's, you know, she gets the mom on dance day or whatever the hell it is. You know, she gets to ride in the front seat with you. She gets to do all these different things that like the other girls don't. But when you're an adult and you're dating and you have a boyfriend, the role of girlfriend is a little bit different, where it's no longer like, where are you taking me? And I want to go on a date and you're my boyfriend, so you have to come to my sister's house with me, blah, blah, blah. That stuff isn't real anymore. I mean, if someone wants to go to your sister's house with you, they want to go with you, then they're going to go with you. If they don't have to go because you have a title. That's not how that works. Just because you have a title doesn't mean that somebody owns you. It doesn't mean they can control you. It doesn't mean they can say, you're my boyfriend, you have to take me to this place, blah, blah. You're my boyfriend, you have to take me to see Christmas lights. No, that's not how that works. When you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, your role is to show up for them, support them, be there for them, encourage them. If they are stressing out because they have finals and they're trying to better their careers and they feel like crying, your best bet is to go over there and maybe make them food and make their lives a little bit easier. When they do something successful and exciting, you get them a cake and you celebrate with them. You put a lot of fucking effort into their family. You try to be there for them. You try to do whatever you can for them. It's no longer about what you're going to get out of it. It's what you're willing to do for the relationship. And if you find someone that is not giving you what you are giving them at some point, then maybe it's not the right person. So there's the thing I think that a lot of women don't understand, which is priorities. So a man who is intelligent, successful, motivated, this and that and the other thing, he's always going to love you. You're always going to be a number one priority. But there are going to be times where this guy can't always show it, where he has to either study for a test or he has to go away for work or he has to, you know, work late on this day and that day and he has to do these things. Right then and there, he has a different priority, but that doesn't mean he doesn't care about you. That doesn't mean that you are not a priority to him. It just means he has other stuff to do for work or for whatever. There are going to be times where his friend is sad because his friend just went through a breakup and he's going to have to be there for his friend, which doesn't mean he doesn't want to love you and be with you. Just because he's going to watch a football game with his friends, it doesn't mean he's like going away from you. He's going to something and then he'll be back. So I think a lot of times as women, it's like we want the guy to always profess his love for us in all these different ways. Oh, hello, boss. I'd love to do that, but I love my girlfriend a little more, so no. Yeah, that's bullshit. Because what's going to happen is you're going to find your ass friggin' living on the street. So it's like you have to understand and be a little bit more mature about it when you're an adult and you're dating, that just because he's doing something else doesn't mean he's not thinking about you and doesn't mean he doesn't want to be around you. If you are the type of woman that like gets into a relationship with a guy who has kids, yeah, sorry, those kids are coming first. That's just how it goes. Like you're not, if you're the type of person that wants to be in competition with children, grow up, because it's not going to happen. So there comes a time where it's like you have to learn how to be independent as a woman, as a human, and understand that he's not always going to be there for you, because that's just a part of life. And if you're thinking about it and being like, you know, I want a guy who's always going to put me first. And that's exactly what happened in my marriage. Was I always thought I should be first. I always thought like he should be like, I'm calling in sick because, you know, she's having a sad day and she's my priority. No, I was so wrong with that. I got married way too young. I didn't understand what it was like to be a wife at that point. Today, I understand what it is to be a wife. And someday that's what I'd like to be again, because I liked being married and I thought it was great. I liked the marriage. I like that. I want to do that again. So for me, I'm now dating with purpose. I'm now dating to find someone that I can love, that I can take care of, that at some point eventually I could probably see getting married. If it doesn't happen, it's fine. I don't have to be married, but I would like to be married. So I am dating with intention now. And it's not always easy, but it can be fun, I think. So after your relationships are over, after you have had some time on your own and you feel like you are ready to date again, think about your boundaries. Think about deal breakers. Think about the type of woman you want to be. Think about the type of woman you want to be and work at becoming that type of woman before you attempt to get into a relationship. I know some people are like, well, I don't know if I'm ready for a relationship. First of all, slow down. You're not jumping into a relationship tomorrow, because newsflash, people nowadays don't want that. So first you have to figure out yourself, and then meet the guy, and then have the connection, and then have the dating, and then worry about whether or not you want to be in a relationship. Because I guarantee you, once you start dating and once you get out there, once you meet that dude that you're eventually going to want to be in a relationship with, you're not going to be afraid anymore. You're just not, because he's going to be comfortable and he's going to be easy and he's going to make it easy for you. And it's going to be an easy decision. But before you stress out about getting into another relationship, get your boundaries together, get your deal breakers together, figure out what dating looks like to you and what kind of a woman you want to be. And if anybody needs any help with getting back into dating or anything like that, definitely check out my website, kellysmithauthor.com, because I am a certified dating coach. So if you need any kind of help with anything, feel free to check it out and reach out to me.